beings. Hope all is well with y'all. Welcome back to the Side of Enlightenment. I hope all is well with y'all. Listen, you see the title of this message, Multi-Trillion-Dollar Lineages. Hmm. There has been so many different forms of knowledge, wisdom, and insight, truths that have come to light 33 on the clock. That has come to light, particularly over the last 2 to 3 years. A lot of insight, a lot of clarity, a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge has been breaking the internet, right? Especially since like the TikTok era. And I've been led to come and speak on this topic for a minute. There are a lot of multi-trillion-dollar industries, lineages that are being built, and there are multi-trillion-dollar lineages that are being dismantled at this time. Peace and love all. I hope all is well. This is the Guide of Enlightenment, and I am Danae. Um, Today I'm going to be talking a bit about um, trillion-dollar lineages, what they look like, and how to identify them when you come across them, different things like that. I'm really going to speak how I feel led to speak. I wrote a few things down, but other than that, I'm really off the top of the dome. 1:41 on the clock. Thank you, Holy Spirit. There are so many truths that have been kept from us, and this was something that a few years ago, it really started frustrating me because I'm like, man, there's so many people who could have benefited, so many generations of people, so many centuries of people who could have benefited from the information that was purposely hidden, blocked, and gate kept away from a lot of people. There was a lot of gatekeeping going on. There was a lot of lies and manipulation and things like that going on for multiple centuries and generations. 222 on the clock, as I say that. Multiple generations of people who were purposely kept away from the truth of not only the world that we live in, but also the truth of who those individual people are, the truth of the history of those people. A lot of those things are being kept from us. And this is the season where multi-trillion-dollar lineages are being dismantled and they're also being built. Because as they say, as above, so below. And so, particularly the way the Most High gave it to me, over the last 10 years, this has been the preparation season. Over the past 10 years, multi-trillion-dollar lineages were being prepared to be built. The last 7 years, the first 7 years of the last 10 years were the time when the preparation was happening. So for everybody, that may have looked a little bit differently, but essentially the preparation season during those 7 years was particularly so that we could focus on getting our mind, our heart, and our body ready for what having a $1 trillion lineage looks like. Because a lot of people think about $1 trillion lineages, 345 was just on the clock. A lot of people think about $1 trillion lineages and they just think money, 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 money. Everything isn't always about money. However, because we live in this world, peace and love, beauties. I'm great, thank you. Because we live in this world, we must flow through how this world operates. 411 on the clock. That's a message for somebody. Um, and and so a lot of people think that, oh, once I just get money, that'll cancel out or answer all my problems or solve all my issues. No, there's a lot of lack and poverty mindsets and different things like that that a lot of us had to heal from. That's what that 7 years was about. That 7 years of the last decade was for. It was for us to cleanse and clear out that lack and poverty mindset. It was for us to cleanse and purify ourselves in mind, body, heart, soul, and spirit. It was for us to get in shape for what's getting ready to come, right? It's as if the way the Most High is showing it to me is like building a $1 trillion industry is like building a house. You got to lay a solid foundation. And in order to have a solid foundation, you got to make sure that the ground underneath where you're going to place the foundation at is sound and secure, and making sure that it's stable, making sure that even through the rain, the sleet, the snow, the hail, the house is going to be able to withstand essentially whatever comes its way. And so that's what the first 7 years was about. The next 3 years was about actually laying the foundation. I've been hearing it clearly for the past few weeks. The Most High has been telling me, like, the foundation is set, the foundation is laid, the foundation is intact. You have laid the foundation, right? And then a few days ago, maybe 3 or 4 days ago, I heard the Most High start talking about the new earth. Like, you have officially transitioned into the new earth. And so if you're watching this, then you are someone who has officially transitioned into the new earth. That means you've done the healing work, you've done the light work, you've done the shadow work, you've released and let go of the things that you needed to. You have done what you needed to do to prepare for those first 7 years. And over the last 3 years, you've laid a solid foundation to build $1 trillion lineage, right? And so what we've been noticing, if you've been paying attention to what's been going on in the world, right? There have been a lot of multi-conglomerate businesses that have been failing, businesses that have been around for hundreds or even hundreds of years, or businesses that you would have never thought or you would have never guessed would have been destroyed or dismantled, right? These businesses are falling, these businesses are failing. This is because $1 trillion lineages are coming into place. The old world is no more. Whoever got left behind got left behind. That world essentially doesn't exist for those who have transitioned into the new earth. And so, any, thank you, Holy Spirit, it's like anything that exists in the old earth that is of truth, that is real, that is of divine authority, divine law, divine realness, has been transitioned over into the new earth as well. And so, what we are basically able to see right now happening in the world is how the any $1 trillion lineages from the past, from the old earth, that was built on unshaky, unstable, or lying, cheating, stealing, manipulating, right? Anything that was not of divine law or divine order, those things have been canceled out. Those things have been released. Those things have been removed. And so they have been transitioned over into the new earth. And as I've mentioned before in several videos, the truth is the only thing that is keeping a lie alive. So once these businesses, these corporations, these families and lineages and things, once the truth starts coming to light, the lie can no longer live on. The lie can no longer withstand itself because it needs the truth to live, right? And so we're literally watching $1 trillion lineages be born. If you're watching this, then you're likely a person who is a part of $1 trillion lineage. And it's not just about money. Don't think of it about money, because if you're praying to be a millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, whatever, make sure you're praying also for the wisdom to keep the money, the wisdom to properly invest that money. Make sure you're praying for the proper knowledge and wisdom so that you don't allow people to come in and steal or swindle you out of your money. Make sure that you're praying for the right people to surround you, right? Who can also invest back in you, right? Because there's always going to be those ebbs and flows in life. And so, wherever you fit into the $1 trillion lineage, just make sure you're praying for peace, praying for your freedom, praying for your health and your wellness, and making sure that you are following your spirit's lead, following divine's lead as you are building this new home of your $1 trillion lineage, because this $1 trillion lineage is going to lay the foundation. Well, you have already laid the foundation for for multiple generations to come. You're going to have multiple generations of your family, blood or otherwise, that are going to be able to eat off of the things that you're doing. That's why it's been so hard. That's why it's been so difficult. That's why it's been so uncomfortable. That's why the attacks have been so strong. That's why the spiritual warfare has been so heavy. That's why things have been feeling like, oh my God, right? Because you are doing something that has legitimately never been done before. We are building foundations for a world that is going to operate under divine law, 100% under divine law and divine authority. The old earth didn't operate like that. The old earth did what they wanted to do when they wanted to do why they wanted to do it. 11:44 on the clock. Old earth did what they wanted to do. I am in the United States of America. Peace and love, beautiful beings. Yeah, peace and love, beautiful beings. But the Most High wanted me to get on here and really share this message. There's some people who needs to know these things. So make sure y'all tell a friend to tag a friend to tag a friend to tell a friend, and share this message with the people who you know needs to see, hear, and receive this message. But yeah, there's been so much gatekeeping. There's been so many truths that have been being held away from us because they know that that truth was going to help us connect to the reality of who we are and what we are here for. The dam is breaking. The dam has broken. 12:12 on the clock. The dam has broken. And yeah, the dam has broken. 12:21. That's like my fourth time seeing 12:21 today. The dam has broken. The dam has broken. The dam has broken. 12:34 on the clock. So we have $1 trillion lineages are being born. $1 trillion lineages are being dismantled. $1 trillion lineages that are being dismantled are the ones that were built off lies, chaos, disruption, dysfunction. They were living off of the truth of other people's hard work, the truth of other people's love, authenticity. It was something Holy Spirit was just telling me about. It was I don't know if it was a movie or a TV show. What was it, Holy Spirit? It was a movie or a TV show or something like that, where somebody got caught up. It'll come back to me. Anyway, so right now, so recently I've been seeing a lot of videos and short clips and stuff of the TV show Empire. And that's a clear sign. The Most High is like, right now there are empires that are being built. So in the TV show, if you watch the TV show Empire, like we see flashbacks of like their rough start and the hardships and things like that that they had to go through. We even seen how Cookie, right, had to go through 17 years of prison because she got caught and decided to make a decision that affected her life for almost 2 decades, right? But there are empires that are being built, and it's so important to be intentional about how you're moving in this season, about how you're moving in this time. 14:14 on the clock. Intentional about how you're moving in this time, because every decision that you make, because in the TV show Empire, when Cookie was in the car with her two sisters, they reminded her, they said we were the ones who snitched, but they said we didn't think you would be foolish enough to take the fall for that man who didn't love you, who didn't care about you, who would have thrown you under the bus had the tables been turned. But she was so loyal. She was so loyal. She was so committed to the idea of the life that they had been building, that she literally allowed herself to spend 20 years, almost 20 years in prison for something that she did not do. There's certain lifestyles that people have been living, false lifestyles. There are certain businesses that have been built. There's knowledge and wisdom that have been purposely kept from us because it benefited them in the present moment. Um, there's been a lot of gatekeeping. Gatekeeping is the essence of people who can help you get in a better position, but they choose not to. There was a man that I met recently, and he found out that I was unhoused. And when he called me, I was in the restroom, and he texted me and was like, "You need help. You need my help, but you don't answer the phone." Like, that's how he was talking to me. Just because I need your assistance with something doesn't give you the right to think that you can talk to me any type of way and be disrespectful. Just because you feel like you're going to give me an opportunity for something. Nothing is actually yours, right? And so it's like certain people gatekeep things because they think, well, it's mine and I get the right to control. No, that's not how that works. You are simply a resource that the Most High has chosen to utilize. You should be grateful that you get to help someone, that you get to be an answered prayer for someone. When you're operating in your divinity, you're not going to be the type of person to gatekeep. Now, granted, you can give every opportunity to every person that you come across, but there are a lot of people that the Most High specifically directed to help people, to guide people, to love on people, and they specifically chose not to. They chose not to do those things because they chose not to do those things um, simply because they thought if they shared certain things with them that it would take away from them. That's what gatekeeping is. People who operate in the gatekeeping community are people who want to keep it all for themselves. There's a lot of gatekeepers, people who built companies, businesses, lifestyles, relationships off of gatekeeping. Those things are being dismantled. People who built things from gatekeeping because they didn't want other people to have it, even though the Most High was like, hey, what do they say? To give is better than to receive. Gatekeepers don't believe that. They don't believe that, like real talk. Um, but we are now presently in the new earth. And I just really wanted to get on here and share that. We are in the midst of building $1 trillion lineages, right? Land, homes, family, friends, soul family, soul community, villages, things that communities, villages, lineages that are going to be unstoppable, unbreakable, unpenetrable. You're impenetrable, right? You're not going to be able to penetrate, right? These families because they're going to be solid from the inside out. These lineages are going to be solid. You know how they say when it comes to like a team of people and they're like, your team is only as strong as your weakest link. There's going to be no weak link. There's going to be no weak link when it comes to these lineages that the Most High is building. There's not going to be a weak link when it comes to these trillion-dollar industries, which is why for the past 10 years, the Most High has been allowing people to be released and removed from their addictions, from their health issues, from their mental issues, from their spiritual shortcomings, or whatever have you. The Most High has been clearing those things out. That's why the past 10 years has been like, why me? The past 10 years has been like, God, you told me this. Why is this happening? Right? But it's been because a lot of the addictions, the toxicity, the lack, the poverty, the abuse, the chaos, the dysfunction, all of those things have been being cleared from our mind, body, heart, soul, spirit. Because in order to build and maintain $1 trillion lineage, you must know that you are beautiful. You must know that you are authentically loved. You must know how powerful you are. You must know and operate in your divinity in order to have and maintain $1 trillion industry, $1 trillion lineage. In order to build and maintain $1 trillion lineage, you must know self. You must operate within self. You must trust self. You must flow in self. And then you must use self to then connect with other selves outside of yourself. Because I am you and you are me and we are one. And you must use those divine connections to maintain that lineage. And again, I'll say one more time, it's not just about money. It's not. Make sure that you're praying for the wisdom and the upkeep of the land, the buildings, the peace, the freedom, the love, the authenticity. Pray for protection and covering over every person who is a part of your lineage. Because as I said before, there is no weak link. There is no weak link. The weak link does not exist. But that is because you all are flowing freely in your divinity. You are flowing freely in your divine essence. You are flowing freely in your being. That is what the $1 trillion industry, the $1 trillion lineage is all about. $1 trillion lineage is underway. It's underway. It's underway presently. Every lifestyle, every business, every corporation, everything that was built that was not of divine order and divine law is presently being dismantled so that the real, true, divine $1 trillion lineages can be born. 2222 on the clock. Can be born. $1 trillion lineages. I want somebody to type. I want somebody to type for me. Type $1 trillion lineages. That's my portion. $1 trillion lineages. That's my portion. Peace and freedom. That's my portion. Peace and love. That's my portion. I want somebody to type. Peace is my portion. Love is my portion. Divine, authentic being. That's my portion. $1 trillion lineage. That's my portion. Faith, grace, kindness, compassion. That's my portion. Yeah. But that's the message, beautiful beings. $1 trillion energy, $1 trillion lineages are being born. That's why the past decade has been what it's been. The past 10 years, 7 years, 3 years, and now we've entered into another realm that is going to prosper you in mind, body, heart, soul, and spirit in ways you have yet to dream and dared not to even imagine. That's the message, beautiful beings. If you have not already heard it today, you are beautiful, you are amazing, and I love you. Don't stop, don't quit, because you are it. This